Hello Sagittarius friends, I'm Annie Botticelli and welcome to my Sagittarius April 2022 Astrology Must Knows Horoscope Forecast. Definitely go to anniehelpsyou.com. That's the interface for all the free goodies I make for you each month. Welcome to you if you're watching me on YouTube. I've been doing YouTube horoscopes for almost 10 years, every month. And if you would like to see more of how I can help you, look in the More button with the little arrow underneath the notes, and that will reveal the links to the other things that I do for you. Welcome also to my very fast-growing podcast, syndicated podcast, Astro Kisses listeners. And if you want to see more details and links, you can look in the notes underneath the podcast. This is for you if Sagittarius is your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, or any other placement you have in Sag. What we're going to talk about here is part of your astrological picture. And if you're a late degree Saggy, like me, my sun and many other placements I have are in Sag, so I'm very Saggy Sag. So like birthdays from December 15th or so through the rest of the sign, or 23 to 25 degrees through the rest of the sign. I also recommend that you late degree friends listen to my Capricorn report, because we late degree placements have a more complex read and we can get pieces from both of those reports, okay? So what do we have going on this month? April is one of my favorite months of the whole year. You probably know this about me already if you've been listening to my work for a while, that when I do the Sagittarius report, or any of the fire signs really, I get extra worked up, because when I do these recordings, I always imagine that I'm talking to my friend and just telling them the things that I think will be helpful to them, because I see all of you as my friends. And in fact, I just had one of my best friends say, Annie, I am so excited to listen to you because it sounds like you are in my living room and we are just chatting and connecting, and that is exactly what I imagine when I record. So I hope that you're feeling that from me, the closeness, the coziness, and just know that my intentions are for your highest good. And I'm just telling you what I think you need to know. So what is going on in April and why am I so excited about it? First big must know is that we have almost double the sweet aspects compared to the salty ones. This isn't everything, but this is something, okay? Because means that the planets are speaking each other's language. They are getting along well. There's flow and smoothness, and that means there's at least 13 opportunities from the beautiful aspects that are happening for kisses and blessings and harmony and magic and activation of wonderful things and materialization of things we've wanted. So yay, big celebration, big must know. Another big must know is that we are still in this beautiful first and most powerful open period of the entire year of 2022. Now, if you're not familiar with this term that I use as open period, I'll just give you a quick recap. When the personal planets Mercury, Venus, or Mars are in retrograde, which is most of this year, which is pretty much all of this year, except this window from March 3rd through April 27th, and the window from June 19th through August 21st, all the times except those times, we have had or will have uncertainty in plans, things getting called into question, difficulty planning 2 seconds ahead of us, reversals, changes, cloudiness. And it doesn't have to be a bad time. It could be, there are many blessings that come from retrogrades, and I always talk about those in those times. However, it's not the time, as it is an open period, for big plans that require meticulous planning that we want to come through in a very similar way that we plan them. Big decisions, big long-term decisions, engagements, weddings, big parties, launches of business, hanging out a shingle saying, I'm here and this is what I do. Addition of new things that we want to go far and wide. Launches of our life's work. Making plans for the future, especially for one of the other open periods. So planning now for that period between the middle of June and August 21st is also very well indicated, because we're in a period of more certainty, planning for a period of more certainty, and that increases the odds of things flowing well. So, it's a time when impetus and action can result in outcomes, and where there are less hindrances to the things that we're trying to do. And boy, do Saggies ever love that, right? Because we do not like things standing in our way of our free flow. We are free roaming chickens, and we like to just peck and check into everything that we want to without things standing in front of us. And this is a time where the odds are that we'll have less of those things and more of our personal flow, which we love, love, love. Also increases the odds for travel. And we love that as well. And expression and communication and interacting with people and social things. And it's just a really powerful time full of all of those things. Okay, so you have the clarity, you have the impetus, you have the drive, you have the stars on your side to accomplish things. It's a time for active web weaving. The retrogrades are more of a time for repairing your web, lurking in the backdrop while you wait for food to come for you. This is a time to go out and get what you want and to make the plans and put the seeds, and things in motion for future accomplishments as well. Okay, so another big must know that we're not going to get into the details of now, but I wanted to let you know here right at the beginning is that we are in the heat of eclipse season, active change, big goodbyes, big hellos, new ways of being, paradigm shifts, breakthroughs, portals, jumping through a portal where are stepping into a completely different life. Those are the tokens of the eclipse time, and we are in that now. So it's happening, it's hot. We're going to go into lots of details, not right at this moment, but just wanted to let you know. Next big must know is that we've got finally, as of March and now deeper into April, this is also true, we have Aries energies. And this is something to celebrate for Sagittarius because the Pisces energies have been dogging us. Oh my gosh, right? It's not that there aren't positive aspects to it. There are, and we can find them and we can use them. And of all people in the zodiac, we're optimistic and we can look at the good in things, right? However, they dampen our fire, and we do not like to have our fire dampened. And the Aries stokes our fire. And we love to have our fire stoked, okay? So this is a time where inspiration, romance, love, children, creativity, recognition, passion projects, bucket list things, anything that we want to do in this fifth house especially just is so supported. And the more Sag placements or fire placements you have, the more that this is true. And again, if you don't know what your placements are, go to AnnieHelpsYou.com, put your name an email address in, get the welcome letter when you sign up for my free email newsletter. It will have instructions to access the free software and you can run a chart. Then you can come back and listen or watch and go deeper into what I'm telling you with the juicy details. Okay, so for every Sag placement you have, these Aries placements are going to kiss, kiss, kiss them. And that is going to bring vitality, energy levels. If you've been sick or had issues with your mobility, this can help you to fix it, basically. If you've been having a hard time defining or redefining yourself, this is a time where you start to become more clear about the gifts that you're bringing and the ones that you want to bring out and the ones that you want to be known for. And your inspiration is strong. If you're a Sag that's been kind of meh, just black, just like, not interested or bored even. Sages in general don't like to be bored, so we make sure that we're not, right? We create things to do, we create projects. But these Pisces energies have been really murky and they're really confusing and nebulous. And while they're great for the expansion of intuition and, healing, they have been very dampening to our creative resourcefulness and inspiration. So if you've been really confused about who you are and what the heck you're doing in your life, probably Pisces things going on, especially if it's been the last few months. And since Jupiter got into Pisces at the end of December, it's been dogging us. So that is still going on until May, but we're getting closer now where it's going to start really, the Jupiter and Aries energies are going to start kicking in. We're going to feel them, even though Jupiter isn't quite there. It's getting close enough that it's getting us revved up. And all of these other Aries energies are really helping us to get our definition back. What it is, what's our purpose, what we're doing, what do we stand for, what are our priorities, and having support for bringing those out in a very big way. This is an amazing time, as I mentioned earlier, for launches. So if you have figured out something that you're sure that you're wanting to do or be known for, this is an amazing time to hang the shingle up and say, hey, this is who I am. This is what I do. and check me out, and I'm super stoked about it. It's an amazing time to take pictures, like for your professional or personal purposes. And it's just really, you're really just on fire, really, really on fire now. And I'm so happy about that. It's amazing for just being seen and for being recognized. And it could come with a redefinition of your wardrobe and your style. And it's very, very zesty. We do still have some of that Jupiter energy squaring our placements and also bringing focus on our home and family and real estate. So that is going to be continuing this month. Sometimes the pressures there are just hard times. Sometimes the pressures there are active times where we're busy and there's a lot of work to be done, but it's for something fun that we like. So I'm hoping that it's manifesting that way for you. We do have quite a bit of energy in Aquarius, which again is super for us. So we've got Mars still moving through there. We've got a little bit longer of Venus being there. And this is activating, these Aquarian placements are activating our third house. So we are going to be super busy. And Sagittarius love to be busy. So you're going to be talking and chatting and connecting virtual and in person and driving around and walking and planning trips and going on trips. And it's just going to be very, very busy. If you need to or want to get a new car or upgrade your car or an RV or a vehicle or a boat or a device or a computer or anything like that, this is an ideal time for that. The stars are right for new purchases. The stars are right for your dream purchases and also the energy of upgrade. Okay, so you might just be replacing equal, getting something new and somewhat equal, but the energy of upgrade and enhancement is all over your chart. So anything that might make your communication better or help you to express yourself better, like software that helps you to write or to speak or to get your work out. And by the way, Sagittarius generally have something to say, right? Don't we? If you get together with your friends that have Sag placements, that's part of why I get worked up when I talk to you all, because I'm imagining I'm talking to my friends with Sag placements, especially, right? It gets me worked up. We feed off of each other's energies. Sometimes it can be exhaustive because we get so excited. So this is going to be a time where we may do things to exhaustion, and we do have to guard ourselves, take our supplements, try to get sleep, take breaks in between, rest a little bit, try to not burn the candle at both ends if possible, or if we do that, do it for short periods of time. But it's definitely a time when we're inspired, our communication is expanded, we're talking to people and doing things and interacting with people that are inspiring us, speaking our language, and egging us on. Basically to say, hey, say what you have to say. So back to this topic of Sagittarius have something to say. And this is a time where your writing and speaking and creative expression house, plus your passions, the house of your passions and your creativity are both accentuated, and beautiful angles are being made between those placements and your placement. So the odds that you'll create something amazing, that you'll create content or, just a work of art or something is really, really increased. And it looks, really, really exciting. I'm very excited about it. Okay, so let's see, while we're on the topic of Jupiter, everyone has been affected by all the Pisces movements through, or the Jupiter movements through Pisces, and all the other planets moving through Pisces for that matter. But those of us who have Sag placements between 21 and 27 degrees, we are going to get a square at this time. So you'll feel that, and I'll talk a little bit more about what that means, but let's define who this is. 21 to 27 degrees, you can run the chart and see if you have any of those placements, but this is basically like December 11th through December 17th or so, 18th, 19th, like in that range, we are going to have squares at this time. Now, fortunately, of all of the outer planets that could give us a square, Jupiter is the most benevolent and has the most chance for positive outcome. But we do feel it as a pressure point. We can feel it as an antagonism, like something is working against us, or it can be a catalyst that's occurring because we want it so badly or because the timing is right. And that pressure point can be super positive, but it's just a lot of work to bring about what we want. And again, we can do it to excess, do it to exhaustion. So the chance for getting burnt out or overdoing at this time are really increased. So you really, really want to take care of yourself and know that as exciting and wonderful as all of this is, you want to have that fair balance so that you don't get sick. You know, you want to keep your supplements up and try to, I mean, I don't want to, I know the odds that anyone listening to me is going to stop eating sugar because I said to are really low, but I do want to put it out there that in this time of viral issues, one of the things that viruses love is an environment where your immune system is suppressed from eating sugar. Okay? Whenever we eat sugar, this is scientifically proven, our immune system is interfered with. The function of it is depleted for at least 24 hours after we intake sugar. So if you have sugar today, your immune system is not running at full function for another 24 hours. So what that could mean is if you're starting to fight something, if you feel like something's trying to come in, you have sugar, that could be the break that a virus needs, whether it's a common flu or whether it's a coronavirus, to come in and infiltrate. So we really have to mention this because you're going to be doing so much, and there are things that you can do to support your systems, and one of them is to avoid eating sugar. Okay, so it's an addiction. Some say, and scientists say, that it's worse addiction than heroin from the perspective of, the physical withdrawal process, which is maybe even more reason to try to get off sugar. All right, so I just wanted to kind of put it out there because I want to help to protect your immune system and help to protect your health so that you can enjoy this vibrant time without any negative effects. Okay, so now, next and last big must know that we're going to talk about is the eclipse season. So first we're going to talk about the timing of the eclipse season, the energy of the Taurus Scorpio eclipses, when we've experienced these before, what types of changes we tend to see in the eclipse cycle, and then we'll drill down into where you're going to see this in your chart. Okay, so let's talk about some general implications of eclipses and some dates and frames of reference, and then we'll dive into the details about where you're going to see the eclipse changes in your chart and in your life. So eclipses bring big changes. They are connected to the North and South Node, which are calculated points on the ecliptic that relate to our highest expression in this lifetime, our dharma, fate and destiny, our karma, and activating our hidden gifts. And so you'll see a very big activation time. You'll feel the hand of the divine at work through synchronicity and non-negotiable trajectory shifts, major hellos and goodbyes, big windows closing and other ones opening. Eclipses tend to bring a lot of stress and drama. They can also bring a massive amount of manifestation, things that you've always wanted in many cases. So it's definitely a time where you feel like your finger's stuck in an electric socket for an extended period of time. So from the middle of March to the middle of June, we are in eclipse season. The eclipses are on April 30th and on May 16th. And this first eclipse is going to be on April 30th. It's a solar eclipse at 10 degrees of Taurus. All right, so this Taurus-Scorpio eclipse cycle started towards the end of 2021. We started to really heat that up September, October of 2021 and really felt it through January of 2022. And we are in this cycle until the end of 2023. Anything can happen from this storyline of the Taurus-Scorpio eclipse cycle at any time during these years. But it does tend to heat up and bring into the forefront, into our consciousness, 6 weeks before and after the actual eclipses. That's why I said the middle of March, and then we've got one on May 16th. So we've got like to the middle end of June. This is our eclipse season, and it's very ripe with the types of things that we just listed. Now, to have a frame of reference as to the types of changes that might occur or storylines, think about the latter part of 2012 through the end of 2014. And also think about early 2004 through mid 2005. It's important to note, and I do often get this question, if something terrible happened then, does it mean something terrible is going to happen now? No, not necessarily, because there were other factors at play at that time, and it's hard to tell what changes were due to the combination of factors in those times, which might not be present at this time. But there are definitely themes that occurred at that time that are going to be coming back around now. And we'll go into the details of that for your sign here in a second. But just to kind of give some context, if you remember back to those periods of time and the types of changes that happened then, you might see some parallels, some opportunities to make different choices, some lessons that were learned in that time frame that you are able to come back around now, and some patterns of experience, even for better or could be for worse, that you're still clearing through that could come back around for you to do some more work on. For every sign, Taurus and Scorpio relates to my stuff and our stuff. My individual sustainability, our coupleship or our relationship, your resources versus your resources shared with other people like the government or your spouse or your family, inheritances, sweepstakes, winnings, plus your individual income. This is the polarity we're talking about. So the push and pull between me and we and us and our stuff and my stuff is very strong. The material realm versus the intangible spiritual realm are all things that are going to come up into the forefront for all signs. Okay, so now that you have a good background in some of the energetics of the eclipse, let's talk about where it's going to be for Sagittarius. From the whole house perspective, Sagittarius are going to experience this in the 6th house of health and pets and animals and structure and systems and organization and our daily work and our daily experience and habits and our self-care regimens and food and diet and all of those kind of things. Okay, so you can see changes in those areas, something new coming in, and it's an amazing time for something new. And you might see these things come in anytime during the Taurus Scorpio, cycle from the end of 2021 to the end of 2023. Any of these things could happen. But we've got some hot spots, March, April, May, into June, for these things to come in. Now, from the Placidus perspective, oh, by the way, if you want to have more details about what the 6th house eclipse looks like, look for Annie Botticelli eclipses in 6th house, or you can look for Annie Botticelli eclipses in Virgo, because that's the 6th house. You can also find these on my YouTube homepage under the eclipse playlist, or you can just search for them organically. But I highly recommend that all Saggies watch that video because it's going to go into more details of how I've seen that eclipse happen. Okay, from the whole house perspective, we can all have manifestations there. I also recommend that you watch my eclipses in Taurus video. Search for Annie Botticelli eclipses in Taurus because that's the sign that the eclipse is in. Okay, we'll talk about the May Scorpio eclipse in the May report. And you could even watch the eclipses in Scorpio report because that is going to be relevant as well. Now, from the Placidus perspective, even though the early placements will see that eclipse still in the 6th house, the middle and late degree placements from the Placidus chart, we're going to have that in our 5th house. Okay, so all of those things I talked about before that are activated from those Aries placements, we might also see eclipse changes, big changes, children, creativity, bucket list, romance, relationship energies, things that we've always wanted to do, something new coming in, new levels of experience with our children, our own or others, a new child in our lives or in our family, new love or old love coming back from the past, or new levels of our relationship. So if you want to understand more of how that can manifest, search for Annie Botticelli eclipses in Leo or eclipses in the 5th house, and that will give insight. And again, all Sag placements can see that there, because even those of you early degree placements that officially have it in the 6th house from the Placidus perspective, it's close enough to that line between the 5th and 6th house that you all can feel it in this 5th house, and middle to late degree placements, so that's basically December born. So when I say early, those are the November born people. But the December born people, we're going to have it from the positive perspective. Depending on where your exact lines are, it's going to be either in the 5th house or very, very close to it. So definitely want to watch, the eclipses in Leo video to see more details about how that would manifest. So the last thing I want to talk about, I thought the eclipses were the last thing, but I forgot to mention that we do have this very big Jupiter-Neptune connection. And I did make a separate video on this. So you want to search for Annie Botticelli, Jupiter and Neptune conjunction. But I just want to let you know now that that energy is going to be accentuating our 4th house of home and family. Okay, so that connection is going to happen there. So something notable might happen in that space. And it is going to square any Sag placements that are between 18 and 28 degrees. And the closer to 23 degrees, you will experience the square energy there. Now, a square doesn't have to be bad. We talked about what Jupiter, squares look like. They don't have to be bad. They can be pressure points and activators, but they can be kind of intense, okay? So those of you who are in the December 8th through 18th or so, and the closer to December 13th, the more this is connecting in, you're going to have a square from that Jupiter-Neptune experience. And definitely watch the separate video on that to see all of the implications, because I go into lots of details about this big outer planet possibilities of how they might manifest. Okay, so I've given you lots to work with to help you make the most of the energies this month and to help you understand the energetic patterns at work and play. And if you'd like more resources, I've got all of these here. You can additionally go to the little more button, the little arrow underneath the bottom right of the video. Click on that, and all of the links that I'm giving you here will be clickable, right? So if you're looking for reading options, including a beautiful, very detailed 45-minute audio of your birth chart for $33 from my brilliant husband, you can find that at anniebclarity.com. You can go to anniehelpsyou.com, sign up for my free email newsletter. This is where you can access running a free birth chart. This is where you access my 28-day in-depth virtual coaching program called Shine for free. This is also where you'll find tons of blogs, and you get lots of other perks for being on my newsletter list. If you're looking for written horoscopes by me, always up a month early, you can go to cozybysweetstarlight.com. If you haven't seen this site, go to it. It is so beautiful. We've got, me and my team have lots of amazing astrology-inspired blogs and healthy living blogs. We've got hypnosis for all the signs. We've got healing frequencies for all the signs. I've got the written horoscopes that I write. We have yoga for all the signs. So it's just a very beautiful, comprehensive site. If you're looking for free courses on how to manifest money and wellness, you can go to lumlife.com, my school, Luminous Life Multiversity, LUMLIFE. You can also find my astrology education courses here, including my behemoth of a master course called Becoming a Professional Astrologer Mastery Course, which you can fully utilize even if you don't want to be a professional astrologer, but it certainly will get you up to the level where you could be and show you how to make your business a success. And payment plans are available there too. Now, I've also got 2 books out and more on the way. Planetology, How to Align with the Natural Rhythms of the Universe. You will find this on the bookshelves in all major booksellers, including all the Books A Million, all the Barnes & Nobles. It's right there on the shelf. Plus, you can get it on Amazon and through any independent bookseller. And you can find Radical Prayer on Amazon, and you can order it anywhere as well. So I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.